Y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama, or maybe hide from your baby mama. Just kidding. But anyways, fans, thank you for staying tuned. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching. And today we have a very special guest. It was one of my closest friends in my childhood, my cousin. Give it up for Melody. What's up, girl? What?
What's up, cuz? How you doing?
I'm doing good, girl. I'm so happy you're here. You don't understand. I was nervous. I was looking at my phone, making sure you were still coming. You know what I'm
Yes, I was nervous, but I was like, oh, I gotta get ready.
saying? You look good. Background, like the background.
Thank you.
Now, I do want to say, for my fans to know a little bit how, like, about us. So, for pretty much, I know Melody for almost my whole life. I'm not lying, no exaggeration. Uh,
That's
our
true.
our mamas are best friends, and her younger brother, is very close to my age. And I'm gonna be honest with you. One of my favorite memories with us is we would be in the car, we'll have sleepovers, and we'll listen to a Barrio Fino with Daddy Yankee with your grandma.
Yes, gasolina.
And remember, we used to have your grandma. She used to be in the car with us, and she's like, "Ay, no me gusta esta canción, que
She
grosero."
would get so mad at us. She'd be like, oh, it's the demonio.
And the crazy thing, rest her soul, I have love for her. One time I stepped
Yes.
over to your house, and Roberto's he's in the same room with me. He goes, and this is the middle of the night. He goes, "Brother, I gotta tell you something." I said, "What?" He said, "The bed you're sleeping on, that's where my grandma died." I can tell. It's now I'm scared. I can't sleep. Bro, you
I
should.
remember when he would try to make me sleep there. I'm like, I'm scared. I love her, rest in peace, but it would scare me because she passed away in his bed. It was creepy, but she was a blessing.
Oh yeah, I could tell y'all were really tight.
Yes, we were. And the saddest thing is that Roberto never slept in his room again because he will get so sad thinking about my grandma and everything. And I would think like, damn, that's messed up. She literally passed away in his room. That was messed up, but I don't know. That's one of his memories that he says he can't forget. So
Wow.
yeah, it was hard for us.
And Prima, I gotta ask you, what was your what memory you can think of us, of like growing up? What's your favorite, or anything that can pop in your head? Please.
Okay. So my favorite memory, I was telling Roberto today, I was like, my favorite memory with David, I remember we were in a complex and we all had lightsabers and we were in the middle of the complex just battling it out, like having so much fun that literally the whole day was there. Like we spent the whole day battling with the, lightsabers and stuff. And then I remember your mom called us to go inside and she bought us pizza and we were trying to convince we were telling each other, oh, let's tell my mom to buy pizza, oh, let's tell your mom to buy pizza. We're like, okay, we're gonna do this. We had a little plan and everything. And then when we walked in, she's like, oh, I got you guys pizza. We were so happy. We had a sleepover. And then I remember the next day we went to see you play soccer by Lakeshore Drive. I will
Yeah.
never forget that day. It was such a blast that day. I could never take that day. Like, oh, I loved it.
Oh man, that's amazing, girl. Man, you got good memory. Dang, you bringing me back to the day. Man,
Yes.
I'm even shocked. Man, my neighbor's dog's so loud I can hear the dog. But girl, I wanna, for everyone to know a little bit more about you, if you could share a little bit about your background, basically if you were born and raised in Chicago, tell us the beans and a little bit about yourself and your family.
Okay, so I'm 34 years old. And I was born in Evanston, Illinois. And I did live, my parents are from Guatemala, both parents. So we did live in Guatemala for 3 years. It was such a bad time when we moved over there. It was the worst time. And, we went through a lot of stuff, me and Roberto. And, we came back. We started, hanging out with you guys again because when we were little, our parents would hang out. But then when we came back, we got so close and we would hang out every weekend, I remember. And my mom was such a hardworking mother. She's still to this day working almost 2 jobs on the weekends. And the same as your mom. Your mom's such a great person. I love her so much. She's a hard worker too, you know. And I admire that because, my dad was a great dad, but he wasn't a provider. He wasn't the type of person to be like, hey, here's $100 so you could get the kids something. Like, it wasn't like that. So mama had to work 3 to 4 jobs. And I had to basically raise my little brother. And we used to hate each other, but now we're the closest ever. But I remember, the fights we used to have all the time. We were rap and make jokes all the time at each other and make fun of each other. You know how we get along. So it's been hard, but I finished high school. I did have a little degree of home health care, and I got pregnant at 22. I have 5 kids now. And, I just been having a stay-home mom kind of life. Take the kids to school, come back home, clean, stuff like that. But hopefully this year start school too.
Amazing, Prima. I love that. I got to be honest, one thing I can remember about you is that you had great hospitality. Anytime I came over, girl, you always have frijoles. You're like, Dave, you want some pizza? Let's go get some, get some food. And I loved it because, it just makes me feel at home. And I know, when you come over to my mom's, we're the same, it's the same,
Yes.
same vibe. I do want to say, Prima, one thing that is amazing about your mom. Your mom has done so much. I was just talking to her, like, I forgot when, but she was telling me about how she was invited to go to the White House for something that she was.
Yes, she actually went to the White House to fight because, okay, she used to go to a clinic for immigrants. She used to go to a clinic and volunteer. And since my mom knew very well English and how to defend herself and all this stuff, they liked the way she was. So they made her a member to fight for the clinic because the clinic was about to shut down because it was free for immigrants. So my mom went to the White House to talk to Bill Clinton, I remember. And she had this whole conversation with him. She met up with him and everything. And she convinced him to donate to this clinic so it could stay open. So the clinic was able to stay open and be bigger and accept more people in the clinic. But then my mom started working another job that she had to literally stop volunteering. But she would volunteer to this clinic, and she literally fought for them to have free medicine, for the immigrants, for people that, that were homeless. Like, she would work so hard for it, and that's something I'm very proud of her, to be honest.
Wow, that's beautiful. See, you knew the details. That's what I needed.
Yes.
I was struggling a little bit. But Prima, I gotta say too, one thing that was really nice is that we have in common, all of us, you, me, and Roberto, that we will watch the entire Chucky franchise at your house.
Yes. It was an addiction of ours. I remember it would be from Friday. We would watch the movies over and over and over, but we'll be from Friday to Sunday.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like, man, I remember every line. I remember that you will always repeat the lines of Chucky too. That's what when I see you doing your videos, I'm like, wow, he used to do this since he was little. So he knows, and I'm so proud of it, because I seen you do that like a kid,
Yeah. Much love. Yeah, I'm so happy. I think that, we're like the true Chucky fans and true horror. And Prima, I want to, pick at your brain a little bit, but I know you and I and Roberto, we believe in ghosts. That's a big thing.
Yes. Yes.
If you could share a ghost experience, if you remember, I'll share you mine, but I want to hear yours. A time where you're like, you got a little spooked, you know?
You know what? Okay, so I'm gonna tell you one that just happened to me that scared me so much that I couldn't sleep the whole night. So in my apartment, well, my house that we rent, we have my house. We had to slam the doors basically because it's an old house, you know. So I remember I usually my kids sleepwalk. Two of my kids sleepwalk, and my daughter scared me the day before that. She was running with a blanket over her head down the hallway, back and forth. And I was trying to get her to go back to bed, but she would run back to the hallway to the sala. So it scared me. So I closed the door and I lock it. So I started having the habit of closing the door and locking it. So that day, I remember I slammed the door and I locked it. Tell me why at 3 in the morning, my door slams open. And I'm like, okay, must have been my kids probably opening. So I run to the hallway to see if it's one of my kids. And there was no one. All my kids were sleeping and everything. And I checked and I went to the sala. I'm like, okay, somebody broke in or something then. And I checked nothing. When I go to touch my door to close it, it was locked.
Whoa.
And it was the door opened so hard that it hit my other table that it sounded like somebody broke something. And I was like, what? And when I touched it, it was locked. I was like, I closed the door and I slammed it closed. I'm like, oh no, this is scary. And I started praying. I was like, it's scary.
Oh man, that is pretty scary. So I had one where I was sleeping in the floor, right? I don't know why I was sleeping in the floor. I got a bed like maybe 30 steps away. So basically I was sleeping on the floor and this dark spirit came and looked like a kind of like a ghost, but like a shadow in a way, real big. Girl, I felt like that spirit was choking me and I couldn't breathe. I was just like that stuck. I felt like he got me. And I was so terrified. Like I woke up, it was like the middle of the night. And I was like, man,
Yes.
I need to bless the house. So I called my rabbi. I was like, Rabbi, I need you to bless the house because I'm scared. I don't know what it is. I'm having nightmares. And we have this thing where we put the on our doorpost, it's called mezuzah, and
Okay.
basically it's like it has a prayer in the Torah. The rabbi blesses it, so he blessed it, and girl, I haven't had nightmares after that. But I was so happy because I was so terrified.
I bet. I remember like me also my brother were talking that I scared him once when we were playing hide and seek. We were like 8 years old and he was 8 and I was like 10. And I remember he says that we were playing hide and seek, and I forgot that I was playing hide and seek with him, to be honest. And I went to the bathroom, and I was in my phone, not my phone, but in my a little video game that we have for the bathroom. So then he tells me he knocks on my door like scared. He's like, Melo, Melo, and I'm like, what happened? He's like, you scared me. What? And I'm like, what? I'm in the bathroom. I've been in the bathroom this whole time. He's like, no, girl, tell me why I saw you jump over the couch and put your head up and giggle and went down and hid. So I'm like, oh, I saw you. So he jumped over, and when he jumped over, no one was there. And he ran to the bathroom and he went in the bathroom waiting for me. I'm like, really? He's like, do you remember that day? I'm like, yeah, I remember that day. We were so scared we didn't want to come out of the bathroom.
Whoa.
It was scary. Yeah.
That is so scary. What was the thing your mom always read? I remember in your house, your mom always, I don't know what Psalms or Solomon's she will always read, but there was one she had it open. Do you remember? What?
Yes. So I don't know exactly the Bible verse, but it was basically saying like, God is my protector. If I pray to you, God is my protector. He's my survivor. So she will go around the house with I don't know if you remember the bell
Yeah.
and the sage, and she would go bless the house, like saying prayers, like God bless this home, and and she will believe that she will bless the house. So I think it will work, to be honest, because after that we will not get scared or anything like that, or maybe it's in our heads that we will feel safer. But yeah, she will do that in every house that we will move in.
Yeah, yeah, I remember your
Yeah.
mama. Your mama was spiritual. She was good people, and I gotta say, having so many, good experience, in your house and with the family. I do want you to share a little bit about your mom. Like what other things that, because I know even though you're a daddy's girl, but you're still tight. Your mom's like your best friend. I want to
Yes.
know what what memories or what makes your mom so special to you. I want to know that.
Honestly, like I have so much love and respect for my mother, and I admire her because she taught me, when you're young, you think you know best, and I know everything, and my mom is always wrong. But once you have your kids, and once I had my son, I literally saw what my mom was talking about everything. And she's like, Melody, when you hold that baby, you're gonna know that's true love. And I would tell her like, oh, whatever, you don't even know. And then when I held my baby, I swear to you, cuz it was like I never met love besides after my kid. Like my kid was everything to me. He became my world. And I noticed that my mom would work hard for us. And you've seen how hard our parents work, our mothers. Like they were the best mothers, even though they had anger issues. And remember, me and my mom will argue because we have the same personalities, and we were tough, like. And she would tell me like, "Oh, you doing this wrong? No, you're doing it wrong." So it was hard. But now that I'm older, I understand, and I'm like, "Wow, I was such a pain in the ass." But honestly, I don't know. My mom, she she will find a way. If she didn't know, she will find a way. She volunteered for clinic to like for the clinic. She will volunteer also for like lawyers to help immigrants with immigration problems, DUIs and stuff like that. And if she wasn't working, she was volunteering. And I will volunteer too because I will be like, okay, if my mom could do it, I could do it too. And she loves helping people. She loves being, well, in our country we call it chute, you know, nosy. She was
Yeah.
nosy. Everybody knows my mom. Everybody loves my mom, even though she has a temper, because you know her temper. So it's, but they look for her and say, like, oh, can you help me with this? She's always doing something. And right now she's going to school, and I'm even more proud of her. She's a straight A student. She's always putting her head in something. In cuando se pone en la mente something, like she literally does it. Like she says, I'm gonna be a counselor. She did it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it. And she did it, and she doesn't give up. And I love that about her because she tells me, she's like, I have to make my kids and my grandkids proud of me. And I'm like, you don't even know that we're already proud of you. That's how much, you great things you've done. But yes, my mother is everything to me. Like I call her for everything. She even calls me for relationship, questions and everything because she's my best friend. She's like, I shouldn't tell you this, but you're my best friend, Melody. I love you. And I'm like, that's true. We're best friends.
Love that. I think it's important for us as kids to feel like we can be able to be real with our parents and not having
Yes.
to hide it. Because I think it's not good for us, to hold it in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It can lead to like builds up, you know what I'm saying? Holding it,
Yeah.
and then we might just get mad and just have a big rage or have an episode, whatever. So I think
Yeah.
it's amazing what you have, that relationship. And I gotta say, Prima, all these things, right? What advice could you give for young people that are parents, right? Because now that you are a parent, what
Yes.
things that you feel like if you could tell yourself maybe 10 years ago, you know, some advice, for us young people, because I feel like you're smart, girl. Here's the thing before you answer that, I want everybody to know that Melody has been my basically like my life coach. When I had a problem with a girlfriend, I came to her. Any issue I
Yes.
had, she was the go-to. She was a good listener and she was very blunt. I think that's the Chicago thing. She's just very honest.
Yes. It's true.
So
But you know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead,
no,
Siri.
no, go
Finish
ahead,
your.
go ahead. No, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay. So my honestly, and I tell this to my cousins and even my friends that I have now. Like I have, my cousins brought friends, and I became close to them, and they're young, and I see them. They're 22, 20s, and all that. And I tell them like, focus on school. Like honestly, when we're young, we think we know everything, and we know like we can never be wrong. And honestly, our the most important thing is should be school. And I tell that to my kids all the time. I'm like, they could take everything from you, everything, your jewelry, everything, but your intelligence from your head, never. Nobody could. So I tell my kids all the time, like, focus on school. Because honestly, and back in the day, my mom would tell me, I don't need school, like you think you know everything. So I was like, I don't need school. School's boring. I'm stupid. I'm not smart. Like I would think, I'm like, I'm not starting off. Like I shouldn't do this. And no, like honestly, you can never be dumb. You choose to be dumb, then that's on you. But you could get smarter. You could read. You could finish school. Just school is the best thing you could do. And the parents that have kids and they're young, just try to, because when you're a first parent, like when my first son, I didn't know nothing, and it was scary, very scary. I didn't know how to react to stuff or how to be with him, how to baby. I didn't know what to do. And what helped me a lot was reading. I would read so much. I would read about labor, about their age, like what's wrong with them, their education on how 2-year-olds react, 3-year-olds, and I love reading. So reading is the best thing you could do too, honestly.
Wow. Your oldest son, Alexander, he is like almost like the leader in the house because he's the oldest, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
what do you tell him? You have to look out for your brothers and your sisters. What kind of stuff do you tell him? Because he's gonna take that role, as the big brother.
He, he is. And he tells me sometimes he hates being the oldest because he's like, oh, it's not fair. I have to, work harder than everybody. I'm like, because honestly, you gotta be smart. And I tell my kid, focus in school. He hates school. He tells me, I hate school, but he's a straight A student, you know? And I tell him, like, and he loves to read, David. He loves to read. He's been reading books desde chiquito. He loves reading. And his
Wow.
teacher's like, he's always with a book in his hand. And I'm like, honestly, I prefer him to have a book than either a phone or, waste your time on social media. Because that's another thing. I don't allow my kids in social media. It's weird. And people look at me like, what? They don't have phones. They don't have this. They have the most is a Switch because I don't want my kids in social media because it's scary, and I seen bad stuff and bad things, so it's scary to me. So my son tells me like, Mom, sometimes I feel like you're too strict. Oh, like I should have a phone. I text my friends and all that. I'm like, if they want to text you, they could text you on my phone, you know? And I feel like he's too young. He's 11. And kids now, they have iPads and everything, and they're barely 4 years old. So it's scary. So I tell my kids, school, behave good, learn your manners. Remember your manners, because our manners, you'll know that. Hispanic manners, don't play, and I tell them the way you act is the way you make me look as a parent. So you gotta think about it. And I also tell him family is number one. Your brothers and your sisters are always gonna be your number one. No matter friends, no matter whatever, your sisters and your brothers are everything. And you gotta be there for them. It's gonna be hard, but you have to be there for each other. And they take care, like they protect each other and stuff like that. They're like, oh, he was bullying me, and my oldest, okay, I will go talk to him. Don't worry. And I'm like, that's good. I'm like, don't fight, but talk to the person. Like, hey, leave my little brother alone, or my sisters. But
Wow. That
yeah,
that's beautiful. I gotta say something, Prima. I'm your Jewish cousin. There's a
yes.
thing that Jewish families do that I want to share. So don't think that you're crazy. I think you're just smart. You know what I'm saying? So basically, in Jewish families, especially in the Orthodox community, many family members in the household, they have this
Yeah.
thing called kosher phones, which is basically where you don't have YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You can only use the phone to call mom or your family member. It's basically the same
Oh,
concept. The same kind. You could get
yes.
any phone store, but it's so cool because they believe the same thing. One of the biggest, I guess, what people don't understand is that technology, especially a cell phone, can lead you to temptation. It can lead you
Yes.
to, um, maybe leaving your wife or someone, right? Because you're watching pages that you're not supposed to be looking, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a distraction. You know what I'm saying?
It
So
is.
so I think you're doing good, Prima. Don't tell nobody. I don't care what they say. You're doing it. You're doing the right way. I gotta give you
Thank you.
props. You know what I'm saying?
I try, and I try to always like I may look crazy, but I check what he looks up in YouTube and stuff like that because I want to know. And I have an age restriction on it, and he hates it. But I'm like, I'm sorry, puppy, because I'm helping you. I don't want to. I want you to stay innocent. Like innocent is such a great thing, and people think like, oh, he's so innocent, and no, it's great to be have that mentality to be innocent and not think always perverted or stupid. And you give me like it's good to be innocent and not know maybe some words that your friends say and you're like, I don't know what that means, but okay, whatever. So that's why I told my kids, I'm like, hey, if you want to be on YouTube, you gotta be in your age and you know what you gotta look for because I have everything. I look crazy, but it tells me everything they search up and everything. I keep up with everything, honestly.
No, it's good. It's good. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
something. When I was young, and I had the PlayStation 2 when it first came out, and my mom, she would only let me play 1 hour,
Yes.
and so
And
I'll
I
play.
remember that.
Yeah, it sucked. But I will only play 1 hour and she'll have the timer. She's like, if you don't finish in that 1 hour, right? I will disconnect the cable and just turn it off, or and then I didn't even save the game. So it's crazy because I grew up like that, right? Just an hour restriction. And I couldn't
Yeah.
play every day, only like I think on the weekend, but only 1 hour still.
Yeah.
And I got older now. Now that I have game systems behind the TV, um, I only play an hour.
Because you get
Yes.
bored.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah.
You're not used to it. And that's actually great, because I yell at my brother because of that. My brother could be 6 hours in the game and not even notice it. And I'm like, no, you get lost in the game. You're in your own little world. And Alexander sometimes he has such a great imagination that he gets lost in it sometimes. And I tell him, like, no, you could play 2 hours the most. And he's like, this is not fair. You're so strict. And I'm like, I don't care. I could be strict, but you're gonna thank me later. I swear.
No, that's good. That's good, Primo. I feel like if you start them young, having like a restriction, like an hour or two, you basically program them so that when they
Yes.
get older, they're like, man, I remember Mama said I gotta turn it off soon. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Hasta te
Oh,
pones el timer yourself. You're like an hour.
right. That's it. Ding. That's it. Oh man, Primo. But look, I'm really happy to have you here. I'm gonna wrap it up because it looks like Zoom's about to kick me out. Guys,
Okay.
this is the Outlet to Reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching. Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the Outlet to Reality. Chat is Take One Pass It. And my TikTok is at Yaakov28. And Mello, where can my fans find you?
Mellow and Instagram, Mellow Loves Monkey.